you're in your teens.
Yeah.
What's going on at the house? Are your parents still married? Is
My
your
parents
siblings
split
still
up when I
around?
was 15. My sister was around, but running wild for a teenager, you know. So
And do you think
she
it's
wasn't-
the? Do you think it's the crack?
I s-
Or do you think all this would have happened anyway? You know.
I'm not sure. I think you know, my sister didn't use crack, but that didn't mean there was not other partying stuff going on, you know.
Right.
So it was the neighborhood we were in. The apartment we moved into after we moved out of our house was a nice apartment, had a pool. Shortly after we moved in, they started moving in halfway houses for people out of jail, druggies out of jail. It'd be like started to fill up with all these like burnout, druggy shithead losers, right? So it went from being a nice place with a pool. They had to pave the pool over because they were worried one of these druggies was going to fucking drown in it. So they paved the pool over, turned it into a fucking hot spot for shitheads. Or one day, I was out, but my dad said some bounty hunters came in, kicked our door in, destroyed our door, and tried to take my dad. They had the wrong fucking apartment, but it was like, just like turned into a real shithole real quick.
How was your weight around this time? Was it? Were you pretty much as big as you would get, or were you still kind of smaller at this point?
I was around 400 pounds when I was 15.
Okay.
So from 15 to, I want to say 20, I was probably 450 pounds. And then I think into my 20s, I started to get up to 500 and something pounds. And I would go up and down 450 to 550 to 600 at some point later on.
So it sounds like you were living with your dad when they split up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went with him, and did sister go with your mom, or?
Yeah, my sister went with my mom, but I don't know if that lasted very long because my dad had more freedom. So she would be in between places because of the freedom that my dad offered.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you graduate from school? I'm assuming around 18. Did you actually get held back at all, or?
I didn't have enough credits. Later on into my high school years, I just stopped going for the most part. They had a truancy law where if you didn't show up to class, if you missed 9 classes, you failed the class automatically. So like most of my morning classes and a lot of my night classes, because it would be like, I don't know, 3 periods a day or something. 6 periods to 3 periods a day. If it was a 6-period day where they did all 6 periods, if I was late in the morning, I'd miss the first 2 periods. And I would sleep in a lot because I was always up all night. And I would really quickly hit the 9 absent punch card on the morning classes. And by the end of the semesters or whatever, I would usually have missed 9 classes in the afternoon as well from just leaving early and going to do shit with my friends. So I didn't graduate with my class. I came back as a super senior. I came back for the second senior year thinking I was going to get enough credits to finish. And when I was there, I don't know, a week into the school week, I was out all night at the studio. We were doing some recording at the studio, and we were in the studio till like 7 a.m., but I think it was around that time, 8 a.m., that time we were in the studio, and my buddy who ran the studio, his girlfriend at the time came in, and she was like, there was a plane that just flew into the World Trade Center in New York City. And I was like, we were like, what the fuck? And we turned on the radio and we were listening. And as we were listening, the radio was like, a second plane has now flown into the World Trade Center. This is obviously an intentional attack or whatever. And we were like, holy fuck. And I'd been up all night in the studio. So I know I'm supposed to go to school in the morning, but I'm tired. I go home. I'm like, fuck, I'm asleep. I'll go in late. It was like the first week of the super senior year. I wake up and there's a water heater that exploded in the apartment above my apartment, and it flooded our hallway. At the time, my dad was in China, working in China. So it's like me, my sister, this fucking exploded apartment. My dad was out of the country. I turn on the TV. I'm seeing all the aftermath of this. I'm like, fuck it. World's going to shit. I'm dropping out. I'm not gonna go to this fucking school shit anymore. Not worth it. And then I don't know. I ended up getting a GED just because